Is this really happening again? Are we about to talk about Scalebound, the huge RPG multiplayer game that was involved with dragons and crazy combat from a prominent developer? You bet we are, because the developer, along with other developers, are talking about working with Microsoft and Xbox again. Not to mention, we have new studios like Infinity Ward talking about the next generation of Call of Duty. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's talk about these new upcoming Xbox games. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. Okay, so we all know the story behind Scalebound and how it was this big, huge game that was being developed by Platinum Games, a Japanese studio that has a lot of weight behind it in its name. They've made some very well-reviewed games in Bayonetta, but have also made some very questionable games that people didn't find all that good. Yet they were still contracted by Xbox during the Xbox One generation to make a multiplayer open-world dragon game that could support up to 4-player co-op and have this massive boss battles with dragons and all sorts of animals, and it was pretty cool stuff, to be honest. The game, once it was announced, instantly became a huge story and people were excited for it. But with development troubles and Platinum Games basically launching multiple other games during its development time, this caused Microsoft to pull the funding and cancel the game. There's been debates for years now for who was at fault, and the relationship between the companies was soured for a little while. That's until this new leadership at Xbox helped mend the situation, which brings us to today and how Platinum is basically wanting to work with Microsoft yet again. Let's get into what is being said. Platinum says it wants to talk to Xbox about Scalebound. Phil Spencer, let's do it. We'd like to have a proper discussion with Microsoft, says Platinum's president. Speaking in a new interview with IGN Japan, Platinum's president Atsushi Inanabe, I messed that name up, and vice president Hideki Kamiya, I messed that name up again, were asked if they'd like to revisit the game and for the first time express an interest in opening conversations with Microsoft. Kamiya has always wanted to do Scalebound, so we'd like to have a proper discussion with Microsoft, Inaba said. Kamiya, who was the director of Scalebound, added, "We did a lot of work on it, and it's no use Microsoft keeping the game in its current form, so we'd like to do something about it," laughs. Phil, let's do it together. Okay, so first of all, I was never someone that was crazy excited about this game. Did I think it had a cool concept? Of course I did. Being basically a dragon rider while exploring this massive open world with friends looked and sounded awesome. Yet I think the hardware technology of last generation wasn't able to handle the ambition the game had. Not to mention, this was Platinum Games' first time making a persistent online co-op centric game. Those types of games take a lot of time to nail down, which is something that they even admitted to right here. Both Xbox and Platinum Games have previously given explanations of what happened with Scalebound, but in recent months, Kamiya has moved to take sole responsibility for the project's eventual cancellation. In a video on the Cutscenes YouTube channel published in November, he explained how Scalebound came to be and why it was eventually scrapped. "I loved Fantasy World since I was a child," he said. "I always wanted to make something around that theme. This is how I thought of a world revolving around a young man fighting together with a dragon. However, it was a big challenge for Platinum Games. We were working in an environment we weren't used to. We were developing on Unreal Engine. We also lacked the necessary know-how to build a game based on online features. The hurdles we had to overcome were very big. We weren't experienced enough and couldn't get over that wall, leading to what happened in the end. I'm sorry to the players who looked forward to it, and moreover, I'm sorry to Microsoft who had placed their trust in us as a business partner. I want to apologize both as a creator and as a member of Platinum Games." Okay, so the first thing I have to do is give kudos to Platinum and their leadership for taking responsibility for the outcome of this game. As someone that wasn't that excited for it, I still had hope that it could change my mind, and I thought the combat in the world looked pretty cool enough. I did feel at the time that maybe, just maybe, the tech in the old console might not be able to handle this type of game, especially on the CPU side, which is something that might be the case. But hearing about them working with an engine they didn't know, not to mention making a game type they never did, shows that they struggled with a lot of aspects. And to be honest, if we remember, Xbox at the same time didn't have the biggest budget in the world. They couldn't help them with a support team or anything else. Instead, they put the money down and expected a game, rightfully so. But if we look at Xbox in the way they are now, we know for a fact that wouldn't happen. Xbox would support them and help them make a game that fits the Xbox culture. And like we said multiple times before, we know for a fact that Xbox is working with multiple new developers across the industry. Not first-party studios, just studios they're locking down to see if they fit the Xbox culture. Second-party studios. And we all know that Xbox has been very open about joining the Japanese studios market. Phil Spencer has talked about buying studios in Japan and opening relationships over there. And putting money back into a game like this with a huge studio in Japan could actually happen. So while I don't think Scalebound is going to happen, I do think it's a game that's gone on forever. And there still could be games that Xbox signs in Japan with talented developers from there. But the most important thing about this whole thing is how Phil Spencer and Xbox responded to the debacle that Scalebound was. Here's what he had to say. It's a tough one because I have a ton of respect for Platinum. The team and I feel no ill will, he said at the time. We talked to those guys. There's no animosity between the teams. We tried to go do something and it didn't work. And I regret that we were so public about what we tried to go and do. I did some learning around Fable Legends and I did some learning around Scalebound about being public with things before I know that we've got a real, believable plan and something I felt in my hands is gonna be there. We just didn't get there with Scalebound and with the team, and I say that across both teams. And that's the best closing argument he can talk about. But now I want to put a nail in that and I want to transfer over to the new Call of Duty that Infinity Ward is working on. We all know Infinity Ward. They're probably one of the best Call of Duty developers out there. They bring out a lot of innovation. They work on the new engine. And if we looked at the Activision Blizzard revenue showdown that they had last week, they also talked about Infinity Ward working on a new generation of a Call of Duty that is the biggest Call of Duty they've ever worked on, and it's the most ambitious Call of Duty in the franchise's history. In fact, Infinity Ward has been kind of teasing it lately. Here's what they put on Twitter. A new generation of Call of Duty is coming soon. Stay frosty. And then they also posted that Antonio Banderas gif from the movie that I love, Assassins, and he's looking at the laptop and he's so excited. Infinity Ward has been teasing this game for a long time, and it's also been teased with Warzone 2, which is something that Jason Schreier brought up after the Xbox acquisition. So this game is coming. We all know that. We all know there's a Call of Duty every single year. We all know that this year and next year, and even Warzone 2 is going to be multi-platform, and Call of Duty has been the focal point of every discussion when it comes to exclusivity with Xbox and Activision Blizzard. Yet, I'm excited for the game. Because while people think, oh, this isn't just an Xbox game, it's not. It's going to come to multiple platforms, but at the end of the day, Infinity Ward is an Xbox exclusive studio when that merger is over with and Xbox owns Activision Blizzard if it passes legislation and regulations. But I have to say, I'm excited for them because they're such a talented studio. They brought out some of the best campaigns out there and some of the best multiplayers. Not to mention, they helped develop Warzone with a bunch of other studios within Activision. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the new engine is. I'm excited to see what the next generation of a Call of Duty is because I've been playing Call of Duty pretty much every single year for multiple years. I'm enjoying the campaign. I even played Vanguard, beat the campaign, had a good time with that. And I have to say, they did a pretty good job with that. The graphics are always top notch. The game always comes with a lot of content. There's always multiplayer, there's always campaign, and there's always zombies. And then you throw in the free Warzone, and you have a pretty good money-making machine right there. And not to mention, some of the most talented FPS developers in the industry work for Activision. I know people are not going to like to hear that, but that's just a fact. And them putting this game multi-platform is going to be huge for a lot of people on PlayStation, Nintendo, and of course PC and mobile. So yeah, looking forward to this. I can't wait to see it. I think they're going to reveal it either next week, maybe even the week after. Usually they reveal the Call of Duties in April or May. They don't really wait this early, but we have to remember, Vanguard didn't do Activision any favors. The game launched, it was still one of the best-selling games of the year, yet it was way below expectations of what Call of Duty usually sells for. I think it's because it was in the World War II setting, not to mention all the allegations being thrown around. Either way, I'm excited to see what Infinity Ward is working on because I love their games, and I think Call of Duty does give you some of the best value in gaming. But now that we're done with that and we talked about the relationship between Platinum Games and Infinity Ward making new games, what do you think about this? Do you think that Xbox will work with Platinum Games again? Is Scalebound going to come back? Or do you think this is a weird, desperate approach by a company trying to sign with Microsoft? Is the money Microsoft throwing around attracting more developers? Not to mention, is it going to help Infinity Ward make even better Call of Duties? What other studios will we want to work with Xbox? What studios do you want Xbox to work with? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been playing a lot of Dying Light 2. I'm probably going to finish it up this weekend because I'm towards the end, I believe. I'm having a good time with it, but like I said, the game is very buggy. There's a lot of stuff going on that I don't really care about. The characters aren't really resonating with me, and I just have to say that the game is probably at like a 7 or a 6.8 out of 10. I know a lot of people are going to hate that, but honestly, there's too many stuff going on in it. There's too many bugs, and I know they're working on to fix them, but I should have waited to get it. I'm having fun with it as long as it's in co-op. Other than that, I'm ready to move on from it. But I'm also been jumping into Valhalla, and I jumped into Lost Ark. I know, the new MMO that came out that a lot of people are talking about. I think Amazon helped publish this, and I have to say, it's a pretty good game. Massive MMO RPG that feels like Diablo and actually plays really well. I recommend people check it out. It's free to play, but it's only on PC. So yeah, let me know where you're playing. Are you playing something on your PC, your Xbox Series X, or your PlayStation 5? Let me know down below, because that's what we're here for. It's talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.